Are you ready to take on the toughest IELTS reading questions? We'll tackle a tricky Section 3 text and 3 question types, including the infamous yes, no, not given. By the end, I promise you'll get a little bit better at IELTS reading. It's Sase here. Grab a pen and paper and let's get started. Our text is from Section 3, the most demanding in terms of vocabulary and comprehension. There are just a couple of things to do before you start reading the questions and answering them. Number 1, read the title, subtitle, author's name, and first line. Alfred Wegener, Science Exploration and the Theory of Continental Drift by Mott Green. Introduction. This is a book about the life and scientific work of Alfred Wegener. Now we know very generally what this text is about. 2. Check out the question types. We have 3. Yes, no, not given. I know not given questions can be particularly tricky. Summary completion. And multiple choice questions, which I think are the hardest here. The next step is optional. You don't have to do it. Skim read the passage in 2 or 3 minutes if you read fast. If it's likely to take you more time, or if you tend to run out of time in IELTS reading, I'd skip it and go straight to the questions. But if you'd like to read it, I'm gonna scroll through the whole passage, just pause it where you need it. Let's go to the first question type. Yes, no, not given. Here are the questions. Do the following statements agree with the claims of the writer? Or in simple words, is this what the writer of the book thinks? Yes, that's what he thinks. No, there is a very clear contradiction. Or not given. The key information is not in the text, so we can't say if it's yes or no. Here is how I recommend answering these questions. First of all, questions come in order. You can read the first and start reading the passage until you find the answer. Then you read the next question, resume reading the text until you find the answer, and so on. Keep an eye on 2 questions. It's easy to miss an answer. And in case you missed the first, you can spot the second and go back. Read the question and paraphrase it. This is a great way to understand the question more deeply and memorize what you're looking for. For example, number 27. Wegener's ideas about continental drift were widely disputed while he was alive. I could paraphrase it as a lot of people or scientists openly disagreed with his ideas about the movement of continents. Yes or no? Next, highlight keywords in the questions and passage. In questions, these are the most important words. For example, here, almost all the passage is going to be about Wegener's ideas about continental drift. So I'd say the keywords are widely disputed. In the text, as you're reading, highlight names, dates, locations, and names of theories, just in case you need to find them later. Pay attention to details. You need to make sure that the whole statement has the same meaning, not just part of it. So pay attention to all the phrases. Take question 27, for instance. We're checking if certain Wegener's ideas were disputed while he was alive. For example, his ideas may be widely accepted today, but questioned a lot during his lifetime. Time for some practice? Pause the video and answer questions 27 to 30. Done? Let's continue. The second set of questions today is a summary completion. In our case, we need to complete the summary using the list of phrases below. Sometimes you need to find the words in the text. First of all, read all the options. Then read the summary, trying to guess which options could fit each question. Usually, some of the options are obviously incorrect, so you'll be selecting between several options. Do these questions come in order? The official IDP website says not necessarily, but answers usually come from the same paragraph or section. From my experience, most of them are in order, but perhaps not all. Highlight keywords in the summary. And next, pay attention to grammar. For example, look at question 31. From a gap. Can it be F, professional interests? No, we have a singular article A, which means the answer must be singular and countable. Or question 33. A person of gap. Can it be E, select group? A person of select group. No, because we need an article A or the, but it's not there. This means our answer is plural or uncountable. This is a good way to check your answers. Next, cross out used options. Now, where should you look for your answers in the passage? Usually, after you finish one set of questions and begin the next, you should continue reading the passage to find your answers. So I'm showing you the next few paragraphs. Ready? Pause the video and answer questions 31 to 36. Ready to continue? Our next set of questions is multiple choice. Choose the correct letter. For each question, we have 4 options. This type of task is testing your general understanding of each paragraph, so you need to read each of them in full. However, it often tells you which paragraph the question is about. 5th paragraph, 6th paragraph, final paragraph. Questions come in order. Our passage has 8 paragraphs in total. So question number 39 is probably about the 7th paragraph with the previous set of questions. We finished reading paragraph number 3, but the next question is about paragraph number 5. Do you need to read paragraph 4? If you have enough time, you can skim read it, but you don't have to. And we're going straight to paragraph 5. Cross out incorrect answers to narrow down your options. And one more thing before we begin. Most questions are about Mort Green. Do you remember who he is? This is the author of the book we're reading. Ready? Pause the video and answer questions 37 and 38. And now, questions 39 and 40. Okay, let's check how you did. And if there are any mistakes, analyze why you made them so you could improve next time. Okay, here is our first set of questions. Yes, no, not given. Question 27. Question 27 was about Wegener's ideas about continental drift that were widely disputed while he was alive. So we have 3 key parts which must match between the statement and the text for the answer to be yes. Indeed, in the first paragraph, we can read about the continental drift and that Wegener published a book on the subject that was the focus of an international controversy in his lifetime. An international controversy means it was widely disputed and in his lifetime while he was alive. So the answer is yes. Number 28. The idea that the continents remained fixed in place, or the idea opposite to Wegener's idea of continental drift, was defended in a number of respected scientific publications, or a number of very good, high-quality scientific magazines, right? Is there anything about that in the passage? Well, we've read about the controversy, but there is no information about magazines or publications there. Maybe the answer is somewhere further. If we continue reading into the second paragraph, we can find information about Wegener showing in great detail how such continental movements were plausible, using evidence from a larger number of sciences. And this is question number 29. And we know that our answers come in order. So answer to question 28 can't be further than the answer to question 29. And this means that the passage really doesn't mention any scientific publications. And the answer to 28 is not given. As for question 29, the statement says that Wegener relied on a limited range of scientific fields to support his theory, or on just a few different sciences. While in the passage, we can read that he used evidence from a larger number of sciences, including a list of sciences. And this is a direct contradiction, very clear. So the answer is no. Question number 30 compares Wegener's theory of continental drift and modern-day plate tectonics and says that the similarities are enormous, or they are very similar. In the passage, we can read that Wegener's idea is at the heart of plate tectonics, but this means it was used to develop plate tectonics. But what about the similarities? In the next sentence, we can read that plate tectonics is in many respects quite different from Wegener's proposal. Quite different is a direct contradiction to the similarities are enormous. So the answer is no. And if you have a look at this set of answers, we have 1 yes, 1 not given, and 2 no's. So we've used all 3 options, which is quite common for a set of yes, no, not given or true, false, not given questions. Although this is not guaranteed, I've seen it many times in many different tests. The next task is our summary completion. Here it's important to pay attention to your keywords to locate the correct bit of the text to find your words, and also to check the grammar to see if the selected option is grammatically correct if it fits into the sentence. Let's have a look at the first question, 31. One of the most remarkable things about Wegener from a, so it means that our answer is a noun and it's a singular countable noun. When we start reading the passage, we can see when I started writing about Wegener's life and work, one of the most intriguing things about him for me, so we can see that this is the correct sentence. The most remarkable things are paraphrased as the most intriguing things, and the conclusion is the same. He was not a geologist. But what could we fit here? Here you need to be attentive. When the author is writing the book, he says, when I started, for me, and this means he's writing from a biographer's perspective. The answer is I. Question 32 is about atmospheric physics and his something. We can read that he trained as an astronomer and pursued a career in atmospheric physics. Pursued a career is similar to his professional interests. 32F. Question 33. We can see that this happened in 1912, so that's our date, and Wegener was already a person of something. We can find the date in the passage. In 1912, he was a lecturer in physics and astronomy. That doesn't fit. Let's continue. However, he was not unknown, or in other words, he was a person of modest fame. 33A. Next, 6 years previously, there had been his of 52 hours in a hot air balloon. His what? Okay, we can find 6 years previously is 1906. He had set a world record. 4 time aloft in a hot air balloon, 52 hours. So that's the correct sentence. And set a world record is similar to his record-breaking achievement. The answer is 34C. Question number 35 is about his well-publicized but of Greenland's coast. Okay, here is the bit about Greenland. He had taken part in a highly publicized and extremely dangerous expedition. An extremely dangerous expedition is a a hazardous exploration. 35H. Next, with the publication of his textbook on thermodynamics, he'd also come to the attention of of German scientists. So the key words are textbook on thermodynamics and German scientists. Here is the correct sentence in the passage. He'd also made a name for himself among a small circle of meteorologists and atmospheric physics in Germany, or German scientists. And a small circle is similar to a select group. 36E. Now, let's have a look at multiple choice questions. You need to be very careful here. There is so much information. In 37, for example, we really need to concentrate on what Maud Green or the author is doing in the 5th paragraph. So I'm going to highlight just the bits where Maud Green is expressing his thoughts. For example, I have tried to provide guideposts to his rapidly shifting interests. And if you look at option C, suggesting why Wegener pursued so many different careers or shifting interests. So this is the topic, but is he suggesting why? No, he doesn't. So this option is incorrect. You can cross it out. A bit further, we can read, my own feeling, however, is that the parts do not make as much sense on their own. And you can think that he's discussing option D, indicating what aspects of Wegener's life interested him most. But we precisely don't know that. He's just discussing different aspects of his life, but not those which interested him most. Again, option D is incorrect. Let's read further. I urge readers to try to experience Wegener's life as he lived it. And this is option B, explaining why it's desirable to read the whole book. 37B. Question 38 is about Wegener, and in the 6th paragraph, we can read that he left behind a few published works. These reported the results of his work, not the journey he took. And if you look at option B, he kept a record of all his scientific observations, or he wrote down all the information about his observations, but actually he didn't do it in his books. And further we can read, he didn't keep notebooks or diaries, so B is incorrect. Let's read further. He was not active in scientific societies, and if you look at option D, he enjoyed discussing new discoveries with other scientists. But no, he wasn't active there, so again option D is incorrect. And then we read, he did not seek to find influence or advance his ideas. Look at option A. He wasn't a particularly ambitious person. And an ambitious person would seek to find influence and advance his ideas. And he wasn't one. So 38A. Question 39 is built slightly different to the previous two questions. Let me show you. So what does Green say about other famous scientists? And paragraph 7 begins with some famous scientists. So we know that's the correct paragraph. And we read that they left mountains of written material. Others left extensive journals. The more such material a scientist leaves behind, the better chance a biographer has of forming an accurate picture. Option A mentions a greater impact. There was nothing about that. Option B mentions fewer doubts. We haven't read about that. Option C, more controversial. Again, there was nothing about that. But look at option D. They're easier subjects to write about than Wegener because they left so much material behind, and it's easier for biographer to form an accurate picture. 39D. Number 40. What is Green's main point in the final paragraph? So let's pay attention to Green's thoughts. And we can read, I'm firmly of the opinion that most of us are not in any real sense the authors of our own lives. And this is very similar to option C, people have very little control over many aspects of our lives. So I think we could select the answer right here. But let's read the rest of the paragraph and see what else was mentioned here. So we can see apparent freedom, and freedom was mentioned in option D, but he says people have apparent freedom, but most of the time our lives happen to us, which means we don't really have freedom. But option D is it's important that people ensure they have the freedom to act. That's not the idea at all. Cross it out. And then we can also see intentions. But he says that we retrospectively turn our lives into a coherent or logical narrative filled with intentions, but lives just happen to us. And option A is it's not good enough in life to have good intentions. Again, that's not the same idea. So our answer is 40C. As you've probably noticed, if we have a direct word match between a paragraph and one of the options, it doesn't mean this is the correct answer. Quite often, it actually means the answer is incorrect because correct options are usually paraphrased. So, how many questions out of 14 did you answer correctly? And if you like this lesson, tell me in the comments which question types you'd like me to cover in the next video. And generally, if you have any suggestions, please do share them. I read all the comments. And if you have made some mistakes, did you make more in a certain type of question? If the answer is yes, it's worth learning more about this question type. And here are the 2 videos you may need. True, false not given, including yes, no not given, and multiple choice questions. Thank you so much for watching me today. Good luck with your preparation and your exam. Bye!